welcome to the next episode of me, To Be Astronomer, trying to answer Flatzoid's 27 questions the globe defenders can't answer. I think so far we've done a pretty bang-on job, and we have left off at question 15 last time, and now we go on to question 16.
Okay, number 16. Why no stellar parallax?
There is parallax. It's literally a definition within astronomy and the distance unit that we use, parallax seconds.
Why don't we get stellar parallax?
Parallax. We do. Yeah, I'm just confident you haven't bothered looking for it. If we do a quick New Horizons, I believe it was, has measured parallax to a couple of stars. There was such a nice GIF, I remember. I mean, you can kind of see it here, how that star right here, this one, has moved. That's because New Horizons is a tad bit away, right? That's what happens, and that's what has been measured. Oh, I believe that's the GIF. Yes! So when you say, why is there no stellar parallax, you clearly haven't bothered looking for it. So that's just another of your shortcomings, I guess. You know, not looking for something and then claiming it doesn't exist is a really nice tactic. It's pretty easy to, dismantle, but immediately in
Would you not see stellar parallax?
You would think.
Travis
But we do. We literally do. It's not even difficult.
says the high
Can you define that for my benefit, stellar parallax?
movement.
Essentially, yes. It's movement, perceived movement, if you will, of a star relative to two different positions. It's kind of the thing where you stick your thumb out and then you close one eye and then you close the other eye, and it appears to be somewhere else, your thumb. But that's of course due to perspective, funnily enough. So no surprise that they don't get it.
I could have put it. Let's squint your eyes and you see the movements in very simple terms.
Not really. I wouldn't say squint, but
Remember, they claim everything's moving with us all the time.
ah, that's the point. Okay, so he's not on about parallax. Okay, I see. He's on to perceived change of position due to the movement of the stars. Now, I believe it was. Oh, I don't know who it was. Made a really nice video explaining that, first of all, yes, we are moving, but compared to these humongous distances, you don't see it moving because it's so unimaginably far away. Flat Earthers just can't understand how extremely far away other stars are. Even the closest ones, even Proxima Centauri, is so unimaginably far away that we only see a parallax of, I believe it's like 0.8 arc seconds, which is so little. That is so little. But,
You always have the stars in the same positions. Yeah.
that is not true. If the stars were always in the same position, why do we need to adjust the stellar catalogs every 50 years? There's the J2000 catalog. Hang on. Those are fundamental epochs, is what they called. They are used like all the stars in their position in the beginning of the year 2000, and all of these positions are then being catalogued, right? And the issue is, now in the year 2023, if you actually go to one of these stars, like to one of these coordinates, they are a bit off because everything around us is moving. They used to be other epochs. There was the epoch of 1950 and 1900. Just because of that, there's some people use kind of half epochs where they go to like there is a half epoch of 1975, but not a lot of people do that, so not important. there was another half epoch that was a bit strange, but I don't recall which one it was. So we have to adapt our epoch every now and then, because precisely because it's not a thing. So again, the stars literally move, and we even have a way to take this into account, because we have to take it into account. You can even sometimes you can see the difference between epochs. I wouldn't know exactly how to Google for that now, but yeah. So what I'm saying is there is parallax. It just takes a pretty long time, and the changes are very small because the distances are huge.
Year after year, time after time, and we're all going through everything at different speeds. Full Bell says this is not a problem. That'll be fun. Coming from a guy that thinks a tire won't explode in a vacuum.
A tire, depending on the tire, of course. Like if it's a cheap motorcycle tire, it probably will explode. But a proper car tire will not explode in a vacuum. Again, showing that you have very little clue about what a vacuum is and how you calculate pressures in vacuums. But I'm not surprised.
Phil, have you ever tried to blow up a balloon in a vacuum and seen what happened? Same thing. A tire is essentially a balloon, mate. Put 2 and 2 together. Come on.
If you say put 2 and 2 together, the issue is that you try to put 2 and 2 together in your mind, let's say, and you arrive at 56. That's the issue.
Yeah, put 2 and 2 together. Yeah, shows your credentials to being able to do that as well.
Can someone isolate some pure gravity? Number 17.
That is a very malformed question. Gravity is not something that you can scoop up in a bucket. Flatside, on the same line of reasoning, can you isolate some pure magnetism, please? That would be extremely nice. Like a bucket or a scoop, or hell, I'll take a plate of magnetism if I'm desperate.
That's,
So can you do the flat side? And if not, does that mean that magnetism doesn't exist? I am very curious for the answer.
Can you get hold of a pure imagination? It's the same thing, isn't it? It can't be done. You can't hold on to imagination, can you?
Yep.
Instead of gravity or imagination.
That's true, Godzilla. Real parallax should be seen in the night sky if there were any.
What a pity that we do, right?
But the story's not real.
It's just, again, it's small. You need to look extremely careful. And with instruments, preferably. Not with your eyes. Your eyes aren't instruments. You can't measure diddly squat with your eyes.
We don't see it.
You need instruments for that.
If the stars are all different distances and all that, I mean, why are they all moving at the same time?
Retro Bull. Parallax doesn't apply in a vacuum.
Of course it does.
Yeah. So, can someone isolate some pure gravity, please?
Can you please isolate some pure magnetism?
Remember, for the scientific method to happen, you would have to isolate gravity.
The scientific method doesn't happen. It's not a natural process. Goddamn. The scientific method is a method. It's a process of acquiring knowledge. It doesn't happen. It's carried out.
To prove it's the cause. Oopsie.
Can you provide a better cause? I mean, I've asked that previously, and the usual flow of answers are like, what's on the record? We have buoyancy, which is a consequence of gravity. We have density, which is a scalar and thus doesn't have a direction. We have this electrostatic incoherent mumbo jumbo that makes no sense in any stretch of the imagination, as laid out by many people, including me, and the video of Brian Myers about it is a lot more comprehensive than mine, and also a bit better explained, I would argue.
Some big problems there, Phil. You're going to have some huge problems with these questions, by the way.
Oh yeah, man. Oh god, I'm having huge issues, really. It's so difficult.
Johnny Edwards, golden ticket.
Come on. So difficult. Like, what? Come on. You could ask those to, I believe, maybe not all of them, but yeah, well, definitely an interested person in the subject of astronomy or physics that just left high school. That's extremely answerable.
Willy Wonka. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Also, what would you want about pure gravity? Do you mean a graviton? Because I assume that that's what he means, right? And as for the graviton, we are just not there yet. We will. I imagine we will find it one day. Maybe we don't. Maybe we come up with a better explanation. But that there is no shame in saying that we don't know and we don't have it, right? That's perfectly fine because I mean, first of all, flat Earth is even less. by even less, I mean nothing. In fact, if you could have less than nothing, I am confident that the flat earthers would have less than nothing. So yeah.
Okay. Oh, and number 18. Can you define a parent?
Well, a parent is the way I would quickly define it is something that appears to be a certain way. So it looks to be a certain way, but actually it is not physically. Like when again, I'm currently holding my thumb out, right? I'm closing one eye and then I'm closing the other, and it seems like my thumb is moving to the left, right? But of course it's not. That's apparent movement. That's movement that looks to me as if it was moving, but of course my thumb isn't really moving. Apart from the tiny movements that you can't control, but no one's talking about those.
Yeah, because we see very much they don't understand what a parent means. I mean, when you look at a star and you measure its apparent altitude angle, doesn't mean it's physically at that height, or is it just a...
That is correct. No one is measuring height of a star. That's very distant. If I mean, you need to call that distance. No one calls it height of a star. That's a bit odd, actually.
apparent altitude?
No one's saying the star is that high, because height in reference to Earth is not a useful tool for astronomical observations.
It's apparent, guys. It's not physically dropping to the ground. It's perspective.
Yeah, could you please elaborate mathematically, possibly, how, with your perspective, the sun would set? Because it can't. Just mentioning that here.
Jim Smith, Cavendish isolated gravity. What?
He did not, of course, but
What? No. Cavendish didn't even try do anything gravity. He tried to measure Earth's density by
that's technically not true.
using torsion twist due to torque vectoring. Heck, you can go and look at his data. It's torsion twist.
I forgot to accelerate.
It's just torque, mate.
Yes, it is torque. Torque caused by interaction of gravity.
Okay, next question.
With gravity between
19.
us.
What is perspective?
Actually, with that, I will believe that... No, I'll keep on.
I think this is going to be a very hard one.
We're only 30 minutes.
Well, yeah.
Because
perspective is merely the expression of... It's geometry, simple geometry at that.
I can guarantee you they have no idea what perspective is.
Yeah.
I guarantee you can't calculate the most simple thing with perspective, because you fundamentally lack. As John Cleese once said, stupid people have the problem that they lack precisely the facilities to understand how stupid they are. And I mean, one of our side can calculate stuff and the others can't, so maybe think about which side of that you're on, let's say. So perspective is just the effect, if you will, that we perceive, that is apparent, by the way. Nice. The apparent effects that are perceived when things are changing in distance towards you. That's, I think something nice there. I'm sure there is a more I mean, I would say it's graphical, really, but I mean, there are quite many. I'd say geometry, right? Oh no, that's I guess not it as well. Yeah, there are quite a few definitions of perspective. You could also say a different perspective is just a different opinion, right? But that's not the kind of perspective we're talking about here. So I would argue that within the discussion of glow and flat Earth, it is the perspective is the apparent effects of something that is moving away or towards you, that is changing in distance towards you, essentially. And flat earthers don't understand diddly squat about it, which is also why the flat earthers they invoke it a couple of times, like it's magical, because in their worldview, perspective just fixes stuff, and they don't need to provide a mechanism of how it does that, and they especially don't need to provide equations, because come on, who are they? They don't do equations.
If they all think like McToon, which they usually do, they haven't got a blooming clue. They'll give you orthographic and tell you that perspective is taken into account through orthographic. But how?
I mean, you can literally calculate perspective. I'd assume you know that because you're invoking it at every second argument, but you know.
They don't know. They don't.
Jim Smith asks, can you isolate RDD? Yes, you can isolate relative density disequilibrium.
You cannot. Give me a bucket of it, please.
Faciality, thank you very much for your $5 super chat. Really appreciate it. It says, lol, I just imagine Phil in a vacuum trying to blow up a balloon. What would happen first, Phil? Running out of oxygen or the balloon exploding? That's a good question. Faciality, thank you very much for your super chat. Now I can just imagine Phil standing in the vacuum. Shit. Cool.
I believe with that, I'll be leaving it off here. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, possibly consider leaving a like, and if you enjoyed it a lot, maybe I can get you to consider subscribing. With that, I will leave you off, and we will see each other in the next episode. Goodbye!